And so at this moment, I hope that was a lot of enjoyment and entertainment for you guys. But Mr. Brian's going to take a couple minutes and share with you guys.
Now we know where Nevaeh gets it. I still am not sure that he thinks that those are fake. I think he thinks they're real. But great job, Jacob.
Thanks, sir.
So I'm here this morning to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate one person, and that one person has reached a really significant milestone, and that person is Zeke. So Zeke, why don't you let's give Zeke a hand. About a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, Zeke reached his 20th anniversary here. And so that's really, really cool. That's a big deal. So I dug out a few pictures. This is when he had hair. You know, Zeke and I, so I've been here 26 years, and Zeke came on board when we were at Hasty Street down in Ferguson and I-30 in East Dallas. And so Zeke and I would sit next to each other. We had this big desk, and we would sit next to each other and just project manage jobs and did whatever it took. We would unload freight trucks, the whole bit, and we had a lot of fun. And one thing I like about Zeke is he likes to have fun. So he's never shy about modeling or getting in front of the camera, So he knows how to have a good time. This picture, we did a video for, this is when the Motel 6 project was going on, and it was about a 4-year project, and Zeke kind of ran he touched the customer, so he would run that front end part of it, and then I kind of ran the project managers who were overseeing just that one customer. And so we had a lot of fun. We got to go spend a lot of time with the Motel 6 client, and strategize about products and what we're going to use. This is just one project. There's a whole bunch, obviously, in 20 years. This is Zeke's backside, just in case you're wondering. This is 2005, believe it or not. So this is 16 years ago, which is hard to believe. So there's Barry and Zeke. They're talking about permitting right there. And then there's Zeke and Tommy. So they're hanging out. And Zeke's always trying to take off his clothes. So I found one that I could have put another one up here without clothes on, but I decided this one was more modest.
So put the sock on in case I'm wrong.
One thing that Zeke, come up here a little closer, man. You gotta get close. One thing that I appreciate about this guy, and have always appreciated about him specifically, is this right here, excellence. He is an excellent guy, and he cares about relationships. He cares about the team, and then what we do, the products and the customers, and that's one thing I really appreciate about you, Zeke. He has a significant gift related to that. Another thing I like about Zeke is the way that he loves, because he loves hard, and he cares about his family and friends. I think about Marcus and Cindy, his parents, and watching him honor them through the years, in different ways that he could help them and have influence there, and then even on his wife and his kids, it's really remarkable. It's really something to be celebrated. And then the team, because over the course of time we have highs and we have lows. That's life, and your contributions here to love and care for the team have really been neat. Tell us the Ron story.
So I hadn't been here real long. I know Brian mentioned when I first started, me and him sat side by side at the desk, and I really did a lot of things, and just kind of running around town, surveying, dropping off permits, couldn't mail them at the time, and even spent some time on a truck for a little while. So Ron, I don't think there's anybody here that would remember Ron, but
Scott would.
Nope. Yeah, Scott actually was Ron's helper for quite a while, so that explains a lot about Scott. Ron's a very interesting guy. So he and I were out on a job up at Lake Kiowa, taking down a Diamond Shamrock price sign that station had just closed down. And so we took the sign down, loaded it on the side of the truck, and then Diamond Shamrock had a storage yard over in Gainesville that we were going to unload the sign and place it there. So we got out, parked the truck, and we had two straps on it. He grabbed one, popped it. I grabbed the other one, popped it. And we're both walking back. And next thing I know, I'm laying on the ground. And all knows I feel like I want to take a nap. But I kind of looked up and I see these arms and legs kicking from underneath the sign. So I guess I should get up. So I got up and I go raise the sign off of Ron. There's blood hitting Ron all in the face. And I was telling this man, I said, one of us is bleeding. I don't know who it is, but one of us is. And he gets up, he looks at me, says, "Oh my God." And he runs around, he's trying to find somebody to take us to the hospital or show us where hospital is, and nobody there could do that. So we just hop in the truck, start driving, and pulled over to the gas station. The little old lady said, "Hey, follow me." She led us to some sort of medical facility, and walk in, and waiting room's full. But as soon as I walk in, the doors fly open and they take me straight back. And the doctor walks in and he says, "Oh my God." So here I am in Gainesville, and I'm kind of wondering, am I in the right place or what's going on? Because I can't see it. But anyway, they stitched me up and we went back to work.
So I was joking this morning. I said that was the beginning and the end of his sign installation.
I knew how to get off the truck.
Yeah. That's commitment.
That's right.
Who else has some appreciations? What I want you to do is, if you want to share something, I want you to come stand up here so we can get your face on here while you're talking.
I'll go first. So some of you guys, most of you guys in here, I think, know that me and Zeke have known each other for a long time. We actually known each other since kindergarten. I know he looks 15 years older than me, but that's just genetics. But so he was actually the best man at my wedding back in 2000, and it's gonna be 20 years next year, so 2002. So I don't like to say he got me this job because I think I did it myself, but he got me the interview, right? And so I started the company in 2004. And Brian earlier said that they had a lot of fun together. I don't think they had any fun until I came along, and it was the three of us in the office, unloading freight and doing all that stuff, which is the fun part. We got to do a little bit of everything, so you get to see each department in it, especially as it grows. Some of you project managers now have no clue about unloading freight and some of this other stuff, so it's just different. But one thing I learned from Zeke, and the biggest thing, I guess, is his attention to detail. I would say his attention to detail is not surpassed by anybody that I've dealt with, and Brian too. Both of those guys, really have a great eye for attention to detail and making sure everything's lined out in order. Most of you guys that know me or worked with me know that I can do a lot of things. I'm flexible. I can, handle a lot of things juggled at me, but attention to detail is something that I had to work on and get better at. And over time, I've tried to get better. Still ain't quite to his attention to detail. If anybody reads his base camps, you'll know what he's talking about, especially if you ever cover for him. It's probably the most reading I've ever done in my whole life. But I do appreciate his attention to detail, and that's one thing that I've really learned from him.
Barry, come on up. Say something about Zeke.
You paid that medical bill, didn't you?
I'm sure I did. Well, I think anybody that knows Zeke has known Zeke very long. They know that Zeke likes to eat. So if tacos ever show up here, you better get in here and get yours before Zeke makes the rounds. Yeah. Now, on a serious note, 10 years just means a lot to especially to small business owners, because the small business owner, you really develop the relationship, and we've developed a great relationship with Zeke, and also Zeke's mom and his dad too. Over time, Zeke at one point lived in Sunnyvale, out there close to where we did. So we've always valued our relationship with Zeke. One of the real things that shows you Zeke's character is Zeke's actually raising. Is it your son and your daughter? That's oh,
just your son.
Yeah. So Zeke actually is raising a son that was his first wife's son.
Right.
Yeah. So Zeke came along as a stepfather and then through some hardships wound up raising that son. And that's really one of the highest things you can do, in my view, is to take on that responsibility. So, appreciate you.
So well before these values were on the wall, sometimes Adam and I joke a little bit, other people who were here at the time joke about this. We pick up things that people say and we use them as running jokes. And so many of you may not know this, but Zeke was our install manager at one time. And this was when we still had all the freight and everything at 4250, well before 4360. And we used to keep long pipes right here running on the back of this wall by the air conditioners. And it's early morning, Zeke's running the crews. I think he's in there getting some coffee or something. And one of the guys comes in, and it was dark out there, and he stubs his toe on one of those pieces of pipe, and he starts cussing. When he comes to that back door, he's, why the F is this stuff sitting by the front door? And this goes to Zeke's character. And immediately, if Zeke's putting down his food, it's serious. He puts down what he was doing, he goes, hey, ain't no need for all that here. And often Adam and I would say, hey, no need for all that. What happened was, in that moment, he set the example and he set the tone as a leader to say, hey, we ain't going to be cussing, we ain't going to be getting all out of shape and bent out of shape. There's no need for all that. And so immediately the guy decompressed, walked back out, and I think, never cussed in front of me or Zeke again or got angry like that. And so what it was just a testament for him holding on to the values. This is before the stuff's on the wall and the kind of person that he was. But the other part of it, Barry was talking a little bit about his character and his heart. Brian talked about how he loves big. Zeke went through some hardships not too long ago, and I'm not to get into details, but I was right next to Zeke the whole way, and seeing his heart and how vulnerable he was, but how sacrificing he was for his kids every single day. I mean, the man woke up early and fixed his daughter breakfast and lunch, and then came in here and dealt with all of us with all our nonsense, and he did that without many people ever even noticing what was going on in his life. But we had got to share some moments in there, but it's just a testament to his character and how resilient he is, and so I appreciate you being an example, Zeke.
Scott, come up here and say something. Come on.
I'm going to have something good on me this time.
I'll give you the same spiel this time, right? There's two things, confidence and competence, and Tommy expels confidence all the time. He is confident everywhere. Well, Zeke is that exact same thing in competence. He always is on top of everything. He sets a standard that I can't follow a lot of times. And a lot of us, he calls us out on our shortcomings, which is Zeke sometimes. But he don't catch himself no slack either, because I've seen him miss that, and he's on it, all the time. And I don't want to read his notes. He's entirely too thorough for me. But anyway, that's all I want to say is when I think of Zeke, I think of confidence. He's never lacking an answer, and when he needs to find one, he's always on top of it. You get the answer as fast as possible.
We're all talking about you like you're not here.
Yeah, like it's his funeral or something.
As we put him in the ground.
Well,
anybody
I
else?
don't remember him ever having much more hair than this.
Right. Shortly after working here, I lost it,
I had a picture from my wedding. I've been looking for it so I could put it up on the TV where he had hair. Most of y'all seen it. I floated around. He had a little bit of hair, but there wasn't much more he has now. I promise you.
I remember one day when we were working on that Motel 6 thing, you typically when you sell or you're going to resell product, so you buy an electronic message center and you've got to mark it up and send it to the customer. And so he was working with the main guy over at Motel 6, and we were thinking about working through trying to put some electronic message centers at some of these locations. And so he hit the send button on the email, and as soon as, you remember this? What made me think about this was Scott saying how hard you are even on yourself related to this. He hit the send button and he goes, "Oh crap!" and sat down in his chair and was really upset because he had sent our estimate to the customer without the markup on it. So he's like, "Oh no!" So that was pretty good. Anybody else have anything that you'd like to share about Zeke?
A lot of fresh faces here. I would say Adam's got some tenure. He probably has a story or two.
He's a good dresser. Every day. Do it for you.
Brad, you been working back there with him about now? You learned anything from him?
Yeah,
Band downwind.
there's definitely some survival techniques. No, I worked over here on the West Wing in my first tenure with project management, and we were all managing our own. We didn't have teams back then, so you felt the burden and the pressure of your own projects exclusively. Zeke was in here, and Zeke, he and I had a little dust up. We had an opportunity to hash things out, and that's later found ourselves working in the same room, face to face. And I think what I've learned most from Zeke is he's probably, maybe short of Mr. Barry Barnett here, probably the most emotionally intelligent in terms of emotional intelligence, his emotional IQ. He's probably got the best grip on it. And that, me being an emotional person, sometimes that was part of what caused the dust up. I wanted him to feel passionate about it, and I've learned that Zeke has a way of managing his emotions and keeping everything cool. So, in combination with his competence and his confidence in his work and his attention to detail, he's also pretty consistent in his emotion. He's not easily shaken by customers or any of that stuff, and I can appreciate that. He's about his business. He's serious about it. He takes his work serious, and because he's emotionally even-keeled, he's also really approachable and easy to talk to. I find that valuable.
Zeke used to sit up front where Amanda does when we first started, and sometimes I would just hold my breath when people would walk in, like salespeople that had never been here before, because Zeke always thought it was fun to give them a good time, and so it was fun sitting in my back office. I used to be where Barry was at, and so I would be sitting back there just listening to the conversation that he's having with the guy up front, because he'd be wearing him out about different things. So.
Yeah. Zeke, we love you, man. We honor you. Appreciate everything. Look forward to the next season together. We want to give you something to spend on your family and take them on a family vacation or something like that. Love you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate all y'all.